Um, so, hi. It, I hate my voice. So, yeah. But this isn't really for anyone else other than, I guess, me. I don't really care if this blows up. I just constantly have these thoughts in my head of this kind of stuff. I play it out a lot, so this isn't really to blow up. This is just for me, really. Just to throw it out there and maybe for me to even remember it. Though I hate my voice, so I'll probably never listen to this. Um, so yeah, this is what if Deku was born into a rich family. So you might be wondering, or I might be wondering, I already know this, but if anyone ever sees this, you might be wondering, how does that have to do with anything? Well, you'll see. So it starts off with Deku being born to Hisashi Midoriya, who's actually the number 3 hero behind Endeavor and All Might. He can breathe fire, so I'll call him Ryu, or in other words, Dragon, or like fire breathing. I don't know in Japanese. So yeah, Ryu is his name, and his quirk is the same. And his mom, on the other hand, doesn't have the same quirk, but her quirk is actually just it's another fire quirk. Yeah, it's another fire quirk, and it's controlling a fire. So she can like control fire. She cannot input fire, but she can control fire, basically make it move around. They had a similar relationship to Endeavor and his wife, but they actually love each other. Sure, they originally like met for just an arranged marriage, but eventually they grew to like each other by just talking a lot. So basically what happens is Deku's born to this family. He's quirkless, like in the show. Actually, no, he's not quirkless. He has a fusion quirk, not a half and half quirk, kind of like Todoroki, but a fusion quirk. So basically, can. He's the youngest child, kind of like Todoroki. Yes, I'm basically just stealing Todoroki's backstory, except for I'm making him a lot happier. And so he has a fusion quirk. He can breathe fire and he can control all fires. Or maybe he can just control the fire that he breathes. I'll make him a little bit more OP by saying he can control all fires, including the fire that he inputs. So he actually knows Todoroki because, I mean, obviously, if you're gonna be the number 3 hero and the number 2 hero, yeah, you're gonna know each other. Their parents are kind of like a frenemy relationship, but the family of the Midoriyas and the Todorokis are pretty nice to each other, other than the parents. So Deku talks to Toya Todoroki a lot, and um, Shoto Todoroki a lot. Because those are like the two main people that he talks to. He also talks to the I'm so sorry, I forgot her name. The girl from the show. You know, the one who has an ice quirk, I'm pretty sure, and she's like the other mom. She kind of looks like she wears the glasses. You know, that one. Yeah. The sister. He kind of talks to her. He doesn't really talk to um again, I forgot his name. He's they're both less important. Um, the other one. He doesn't talk to him that much. He talks to the girl that a little bit, but he mostly just talks to Toya and Shoto. And so he calls him Shoto and Toya. He doesn't call him by Todoroki. So now cut to when he's in high school. Unlike in the original canon, where he goes to a public school, he actually goes to the same school as where Todoroki goes to, and he doesn't meet Kanchan. Sorry, Bakugo. Kanchan. And so, yeah, he just meets Todoroki. He's really his only friend is Todoroki. He kind of just has a cold demeanor, kind of like Todoroki, but he's a little bit more warm-hearted once you get to know him, unlike Todoroki, who's just cold-hearted always. Um, so he's cold on the outside, but if you get to know him, he's really just the normal Izuku that we know. Now, unlike in canon, his I don't know if I want to do this. Yeah, his name is gonna still be Izuku. I wanted to change his name to Ryu, but I don't know. So his name is Izuku. He doesn't have a nickname. His name's just Izuku, but everyone just calls him Midoriya because everyone's respectful, unlike in canon where everyone's just calling him Deku. Um, and so yeah, he also gets put in the recommendation course because he's just, I mean, yeah, but unlike in canon where he gets attacked by the sludge villain, he doesn't get attacked by the sludge villain. Instead, he just sees Bakugo gets attacked by a sludge villain because he was going to get a snack at his favorite shop, which just happens to be in the neighborhood of Bakugo. And so he sees Bakugo getting attacked and no one trying to stop him because instead of what's happened in canon, the sludge villain gets attacked by All Might and he gets thrown. He accidentally gets fallen out. He doesn't get tugged on. So yes, in this canon, it's actually All Might's fault, not Izuku's. So then Bakugo gets attacked, and Midoriya sees the fact that no one's trying to stop him, and so he's like, "Oh, I need to protect him," because again, it's still Midoriya. He still has all of his instincts, and so he sees everyone just not trying to stop him, and he runs and he attacks him, and everyone notices instantly the fact that he has a very similar quirk to his father's, and so yeah, he defeats the sludge villain by burning his eyes. Cause I watched a YouTuber. His name. I'm sorry, it kind of sounds like a girl. It's a guy named Anime Outlet, and he said that he probably thinks that because it's just a bunch of sludge, that the eyes obviously would have the brain and the heart. So he burns the eyes, and he doesn't kill him like Anime Outlet does. But he really severely hurts him and gives him brain damage. So much different. And so he protects him, and Bakugo doesn't know him, so he doesn't, do the whole "I don't need to repay you" shtick. But also in canon, Bakugo isn't as evil as he is in canon, but he's also more egotistical, so he thinks he's better than everyone else, a lot more. He thinks he's basically Jesus, but he's also not a bully because he never has been looked down upon, in quotation marks, because Deku never looked down on him. He just wanted to help him, but no one ever wanted to help him. Everyone just thought he was a god, so he didn't bully anyone per se. He just had a big ego, which will later be taken down several notches by Todoroki and Izuku, but we'll get to that later. And so All Might sees his heroicness and the fact that he basically just gave the sludge monster brain damage. All the pro heroes are praising Bakugo for, being amazing, totally, and not giving in to the sludge monster. And they try to scold Izuku, but Izuku just turns to them and says, "You're welcome," right before they start scolding him, and then he just walks away. He just ignores them, and he just walks away, and then All Might comes in and he's like, "Hey there, I'm All Might." He's like, "Oh, hi, All Might." Because, he's kind of used to meeting popular heroes, he's literally friends his friend's father is the number one hero, is the number two hero. So like, he's just like, oh hey, All Might, and All Might's like, oh, you're not surprised by me being here, and he's like, oh, I'm kind of used to it, and he's like, oh well, what do you mean? And he's like, I'm a Midoriya. He's like, oh, so you're Ryu's son? And he's like, yup, I'm Ryu's son. And he's like, oh, that makes sense. Do you want my quirk? Now he's like, I saw your bravery there, and unlike all the other heroes, I think you'll be a worthy successor for my quirk. And he's like, what? Izuku's like, what? I don't understand. And he's like, well, my quirk is very special quirk, and it basically means that you can become anything. You can basically take my quirk and become the next symbol of peace. Like, it's no biggie, but you'll need to train a lot, obviously. And Izuku says, thanks for the kind offer, I guess, but I think someone else needs that more than I do. I have a few suggestions. And he names a really nice quirkless person. Yes, there's another quirkless person. Because I thought that there's like another story where Momo gets the quirk because she's quirkless. So I thought that was a really nice idea. So I'm stealing that as well. I'm basically just stealing a bunch of things. I'm telling you, most of these are just from my head and then me thinking them. So what he tells him is he lists a few people. He includes Muriel. He says, well, Muriel's a good person, because he, like, researches good heroes to, like, he kind of is like Izuku, where he takes notes on heroes, but instead of taking notes on heroes, he researches, like, good heroes, like, even good heroes in training, because he wants to, like, see where they go. Like, he's kind of like, oh, I want to see their growth from behind a glass window. Weird relation. And so he's just like, oh, Mirio is a really good person. Oh, this one guy named Denki Kaminari is a really good person. He has a quirk, but his quirk isn't really useful right now because the moment that he uses it too much, he'll like become mindless. Also, this man named Kiri is also really good. Kirishima is his full name. Angie Kirishima. I really do not know how to say these names. Yeah, he's a really good hero, but his quirk is pretty useless for right now. Also, he kind of also researches bullied people. Because once you get a quirk, it kind of just goes onto the internet for everyone to see, apparently. Or maybe he just like stole his dad's file on all heroes. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. He stole his dad's files on all up and coming heroes. And he keeps on stealing them and like duplicating them and giving it back and pretending like he didn't steal it.
When you entered the tracks, you didn't lock the doors.
Hi, so you might hear I'm eating now. Also might have heard from my grandpa screaming on top of his lungs. I can't eat. I forgot what I was. I think I was talking about. Oh yeah, he was listing names, and he was like, "Oh, Kirishima's really good. Kaminari is really good. These people like need upgrades. Oh, Shinso is really good. He has a villainous quirk, but he can be so much more if he just got a boost with strength, even." And All Might was like flabbergasted. He was like, "How do you know all these people?" And he was like, "Oh, I know it because I research bullied people and people who look promising." And All Might's like, duly noted, Mr. Midoriya. And then he jumps away. I'm so sorry, this probably sounds disgusting. should probably just pause this and come back to it. That's what I'll do. BRB. Okay, I'm back. So I just ate dinner. So if I recall correctly, he was just about to finish listing all the people. Oh no, he already finished listing all the people. And All Might says, okay, then I'll take that noted. Okay, sorry about that. My baby brother just tried to annoy me. So, yeah, he was like, okay, bye, I guess. And Midoriya now knows about All Might's secret. Obviously, he's not going to tell anyone, especially not his father, or his best friend's father, who obviously is Endeavor, because he only knows one friend, is Todoroki. By the way, in this world, Todoroki kind of warms up to people, but only Deku. He only really warms up completely to Deku. He's a little bit more kind-hearted, because when his mom, went to the, insane asylum. She's not even insane. I can't believe they did that. Sorry. He, like, would normally in canon be, like, all cold. But Deku told him that it wasn't his fault. I mean, Izuku Midoriya, not Deku, because that's not his nickname in this world. Izuku is like, no, it's not your fault. It's your evil father. Just, yeah. And also, don't not use your fire side. Here, you can train with me. We'll make you a hero without even using any of his training. Because that's his. Your quirk is your own. But his training is yours. Again, really sorry about that. So yeah, he's like, the training's your father's, but what's not his is your quirk. And so basically he told the whole, it's your quirk, not his, kind of shabaco way earlier in his life. So he's actually trained, like, unlike in the canon where he's just like, he's not really proficient in either of them, he just kind of uses them. Like, he's not really a good fighter or anything, or like a good strategist. He's just like, has a really OP quirk. But now, he has a really OP quirk, and he knows how to use it, and he's a good strategist, because unlike in canon, Midoriya's father is like much nicer. Like, he only went into this marriage because it was like what you're supposed to do. It's basically what happened. It's like what you're supposed to do whenever you become a really important hero and you want to have a nice family. You're supposed to just like get an arranged marriage and get a perfect kid. And so he's like, he's much nicer. He's much calmer. If you don't, like, if you mess up, it's fine. By the way, Izuku has a sister, and that's it. Her name is Izumi. She's 2 years older than him, and her quirk is basically she could just emit fire from all of her body, not just her mouth. Like she could just completely go in flames, kind of like what's his face, the Human Torch from Fantastic Four. She basically can do that, but in like she doesn't have to go all flame on. She can just like ignite her hands or ignite her face or ignite her anything. She can still breathe fire, like. But like she doesn't have to have it all at once. I mean, she can, but. By the way, Izuku's weakness is his weakness is if he uses his quirk too much, he'll start to get like slight burns, and if he overuses it, he'll basically become a Dobby. If you noticed, I have Dobby as my thing. Uh He'll basically become Dobby and have scars all over himself. But obviously he doesn't, because he doesn't overuse his quirk. Sorry, I'm outside right now. I'm outside. I'm not like in a special room. I'm just outside chilling with my cat. And so he's just really just sitting there doing nothing. And I mean, not nothing. I'm sorry. My head kind of goes off. And starts thinking about random stuff. So anyways, back to this actual story. He goes back to his house. He explains what happens to his father. I don't know why he wants calling him father. He's like, Dad, hey, this sludge monster attacked this random guy. I saved him, and I was poached on All Might and thanked for being such a great hero. He didn't add in the whole being offered his quirk and, giving him like suggestions, whole thing, because again, right before All Might left, he was like, oh, you shouldn't tell anyone this. This is really classified information. And Ezekiel was just like, yeah, okay. And so he went back. Sorry, I make myself laugh. I'm kind of a narcissist in that sense. So, he tells his father that, and then goes to sleep. Cut to entrance exam. Obviously, he trained a lot harsher with him to himself. Like, his normal routine, he kind of, did that, and then did his own routine that he made it, harsher, really harsh for the entrance exam. Again, this was still, the 11-month kind of time gap, time thing for it. So he goes into this, recommended section, because, obviously. And he goes in, and he's like, oh, hi, I'm Midoriya. I'm Izuku Midoriya. To all the people, we got the what's his face tornado dude. We got Todoroki, who we already knows, and I think we got Momo. I think was also in that special thing, and I think that's it because they both. I think that's it. That's all the people who were recommended. He introduced himself to Momo, and he was like, "Hi, I'm Izuku Midoriya," and she was like, "Oh my God, you're part of the Midoriya family." No, she didn't do that. That's really stereotypical. She's like, "Oh, that's really cool. You're part of the Midoriya family. How is it fun to have a pro hero father?" And he's like, "Well, it can be. It's not always is." Obviously, he's referencing the fact that Todoroki has a really shitty father who kind of threw his mother in an insane asylum for burning her son. Teapots. And so she was like, "What do you mean by that?" And he was like, "Oh, nothing." And so, he aces the exam. It was pretty easy for him. I mean, he wasn't just training his body like he did in canon, because he was already pretty trained in that section. I mean, he still did, and was really harsh, but he also trained his mind a lot. He read a whole library's worth of books, even the fictional ones, because he was like, I might as well throw that stuff in there. And then he read another library's full, because he's really good at reading for some reason. I'm not even good at reading. I'm not, self-adding. I know any of this. By the way, he does mumble in canon, but not as harshly. He mumbles to himself more, than he does in canon. He just really mumbles. He's just not actually speaking, but fast and too much. No, he's he just kind of whisper, jollies it, and sometimes he even does it in his mind. But he doesn't really do the whole spinning purple stuff, and yeah, in canon. Also, he doesn't get bullied, so because I mean, not only is he not quirkless, but he's also in a gifted thing, not a gifted a private school, so there's not gonna be many bullies in a private school. I would know from experience, not really know. I'm in a charter school. Yes, I'm a kid. I'm not a kid. I'm a teenager, but like I'm practically a kid. I can be in YouTube. I'm not old enough to be like, oh, I'm out of this house and oh, I have a job. I don't have a job. I probably shouldn't say this on YouTube, but it's fine. No one's gonna even watch this stuff. This is basically just for me to like throw this out there. I've been thinking about this for a while. Like I have a bunch of ideas. Anyways, I'll tell that at the end. So he's like goes to the entrance exam. He aces that stuff. He gets out. Everyone's flabbergasted about how good Todoroki and Izuku Midoriya are because like they have dope quirks, and in this what if sorry he is like really OP and like the whole thinking and like stuff era way, and so he's like, yeah, I'm good at this. And so he goes back home. His father asks, hey, how'd you do? He said, I think I did pretty good. I basically already got in, but this was basically just I was originally gonna do voices, but like, cause I do want to be a voice actor, but I don't know. I don't want to cringe so hard to myself that I pass out, cause I do cringe pretty hard to myself. And so he's just like, oh, okay. And so he goes back home. He calls Shoto, and he's like, hey, Shoto. And he's like, oh, hey, Zuko. And he's like, oh, how'd you think you did, Shoto? I was like, oh, I think I did pretty good. He's like, that's great. Hey, you want to meet up to have, like, grab a coffee or something? And he's like, yeah, sure. Where? And he was like, oh, I don't know, a place. Let's just say it's, like, a coffee shop. Yeah, sure. Let's meet at insert coffee shop name here. He's like, okay, sure. Be there when? And he's like, oh, maybe like 12:30. Mind you, it's like 11. And so he's like, yeah, sure. And so, Izuku's like, oh, I need to get ready. Because it's only going to be... Actually, wait, no. That's an hour and 30 minutes. He's like, okay, I'll set a timer for 12, and when it comes to 12, I'll get ready. And so he sets a time skip to the timer going off. He's like, I don't know what Deku does, Izuku does in this world. I guess he's catching up on his homework. I totally do that. And he's like, oh, yeah, this, and then he's like, oh, yeah, that's my timer. He clicks off. He's like, hey, Dad, I'm gonna go get ready for the coffee thing me and Todoroki are doing. And he's like, oh, okay. And so he stops doing his homework. He puts that away in his bag, I guess, and he goes over, gets ready. Probably not wearing what he's wearing in the picture, but like maybe just like some casual attire, maybe like a beanie and like, I don't know what normal people wear, a beanie and some like a t-shirt and like maybe like a jacket and like some jeans and like his red shoes, because obviously in all universes he has those bright red shoes. And he goes and he's like, hey, he's looking for Todoroki, and he finds him and he's like, hey, Todoroki. So they go sit down and they talk for a while. They are talking about like how, they talk about like the entrance exam and like, not really, it's like the special entrance exam, talking about how like easy it was, and like talking about strategies and talking about their whole plan, which is that they'll become a partner group, start their own agency, become a partner group, and like do that, and both become the number one hero, or heroes, I guess, and become like the fire and ice group, I guess. Hot ice. Super hot ice. Though they really have like special moves, like Shoto like sprays all of his ice, because his ice can go so much bigger than Izuku's, because his is just like a breathing. He can like really like throw it, and then Izuku like morphs it into like a dragon and like and like bites you down and like really does you. And like Todoroki knows how to like shield stuff with the ice and like an ice sword, and it's really cool. And like, yeah, and so they leave. Now cut to the whole like after when they get to the actual school, like, you know, the first day. Sorry, I didn't really like digest the pizza that I had. Yes, I had pizza. So I'm just really like dying over here. So he's just like, he's outside and he's like, first day of UA in his head, because again, I told you he mumbles, but he doesn't really mumble in his outside. He mostly mumbles in his head, and when he does mumble, he just like does like the under the breath kind of mumble. And so he's like, first day of UA, and then he sees Todoroki, and he's like, oh hey Shoto, and he's like, oh hey Izuku, and then they walk in, they start looking for Class 1A, and they eventually find it. They walk in and they instantly hear, get your I'm such an Ida fan, but I can't do his voice for the life of me. Get your legs off the table. This is where the people once, like, this is where previous classmates that we should respect once had it, and this is UA property. You should never do that. That's really disrespectful. I really forgot the freaking line. Oh, I'm so sorry. And Bakugo was like, yeah, shut up. You don't matter. I'll just sit. Like, in his head, he's like, oh, you don't matter. This doesn't matter. This is just a desk. I'm the number one hero. He's not the number one hero. He just already thinks of himself as the number one hero. And so he's just like chilling. And then Izuku, like, I would say like he lights his shoe on fire, but that would be a little much. He like walks past him and like shows him a little bit of his fire. Like he goes like, "Whoo!" and like scares him a little bit. That scares him enough to put his feet down, and so he's like kind of scared now. I mean, obviously he has a big ego, so he just thought, oh, it's just a wimpy quirk. But also, he's like, in his head, in his like rational head, he's like, that's a really powerful quirk. I should probably not mess with that guy. And so he like really tries to act cool. Like his head thinks that he's acting cool. He is acting cool, but like he's not acting his normal egotisticalness self. By the way, in this universe, because I hated this so much, Shinso gets into 1A. Mineta doesn't even gets into the support course because frick Mineta. I mean, he'll probably be in like the fight, but like in a fight or something, but like he's not in 1A. Mineta doesn't deserve to be in 1A. He just throws great balls. And so Shinso comes in, and then Izuku instantly recognizes him as one of the people he studied. He also notices, after a few more people come in, he notices Kirishima and Denki, or Kaminari, as two other people who he obviously recommended to All Might. And then, you know, you see the splat, and it's obviously Aizawa, but everyone else is just like, oh, who is this person? Who is this man's? Or is this even a man's? Is this a big bug? A big yellow worm? And he, like, flips around and gets up. And then everyone's like, who is this man? He unzips his thing, puts his juice pack in his mouth, goes, and it's like, you were all like 10, I forgot how long it was, you're all like 5 minutes late. If you want to be a hero, that's a really bad time. And everyone except for Izuku is like, who is this dude? Izuku already knows who Eraserhead is, and he's like, oh, hi Mr. Eraserhead. Or yeah, he's like, hi Mr. Eraserhead. And he's like, oh, hello person. He's like, oh, hello student. and everyone's like, "Oh, who is this? He's supposed to be our teacher." Everyone like looks at Izuku, very confused, and he's like, "Oh, this is our teacher, Mr. Aizawa, also known as the Eraserhead, Pro Hero Eraserhead." And everyone's like, who?" And then he goes on to explain, "Oh, he's like an underground hero. He doesn't really talk that. He's not really in the press that much. You don't really see him that much. He's been a UA teacher for a while now. In fact, he went to UA himself, like yada yada yada. He's friends with President Mike. No, this is not, though I really wanted it to be in my head, this is not a President Mike X Eraserhead. Oh, that's one of my favorite ships. I am a big shipper, by the way. And if you haven't already guessed, which is very surprising, this is a Todo Deku ship. Because, I mean, they're just the best ships. Also, by the way, yes, all of my ships are either gay or really gay. I don't really have many straight ships. I mostly have Kiri Bakugo, Todo Deku, Hawks Dabi, if I just want to ship anyone with Dabi. President Mike and Eraserhead again if I want to ship anyone with them. And like Sue, what did it call me? Sue, Suyu, Asahi, and Uraka. And yeah, like all of the gay ships. Sometimes I ship Ida with Deku, but that's very rare. So yeah, but most of those ships are not going to be in this series. Maybe some will be in other series. I don't know. Because I'm going to be I have tons of... Again, I'm going to say that at the end of this. And so he's like, everyone put on these and go outside. And so everyone is very confused at this point. And they're like, okay, I guess. And Izuku's already out the door. Like, he's gone. Like, he's already has his thing. He's gone when everyone clicks in and starts to get ready, including Todoroki. I think Todoroki also would have just followed orders and just walked out. And everyone else is like, where is those two classmates? And he was like, oh, they already left. You should probably be like them and get ready and go. And so they leave. They go outside and, Uraka says, shouldn't we be at the orientation? And Eraserhead's like, I can run this class however I want. UA's like that. If you don't like it, you can pack your bags and leave tomorrow. And like, everyone's pretty stunned by what he said. And Tenya Ida was about to say, sir, that's not how you do a class. But Izuku interrupted him and was like, actually, that is how you do a class. You can do a class however you like. It doesn't really matter what you're doing, as long as you're doing it right. And then Eraserhead was kind of shocked by that mentality of it doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you do it right, and it is right, morally. Like, he didn't say that, but that's probably what he meant. And yeah, I think that's a really good mentality. Like, so it doesn't matter how you do something, as long as you do it right, morally, and like mentally and physically. Like, don't kill someone because it's useful or something. That's not what I'm trying to say. That's not what the thing is. I'm saying like, if you, it doesn't matter how you get to that destination. Like, let's say you're going to Walt Disney Park, and then okay, I'm getting side railed. I mean, off track, side railed. Sorry. Let's just go walk back. You understood the metaphor, I hope, if you're even there. I don't even know how many people are gonna watch this. I bet if there's a single person watches any of my videos, it's not gonna be this one. If you're watching this, I'm surprised, honestly. And so Eraserhead's like, yeah. And then he's like, okay, if you're so smart, he throws the ball at Izuku, and he's like, throw this ball for me. And Izuku's like, really? And he's like, yes, use your quirk, throw the ball. And Izuku's like, wait, I get to use my quirk on something other than the designated area? And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, well, my father got me a designated area to train. And he was like, oh, who's your father? And I'm like, I'm Izuku Midoriya. My father is... And then Erasure cuts him off, and he's like, oh, yeah, I already know. Your father is Ryu, otherwise known as the Dragon. I guess you can just call him the Dragon. And he's like, yeah. And so he like breathes fire on it, and then he throws it into the air like a normal ball, and then when it gets far enough so then it stops and it was about to fall down, he uses his ability to control the fire and like basically double throws it up into, I don't know, the stratosphere or whatever the highest sphere is. I think it's like the toposphere. I don't know. I literally just learned this in science. No, I didn't. I've been learning that. I'm just an idiot. I'm totally smart. Anyways, I'm so sorry. If you're watching this, I'm surprised if you made it this far. If you made this far, I'll give you a clap. I'll give you an applaud to dealing with my BS. So basically, he throws the ball. It lands like, I don't know, 1,000 meters into the... It falls 1,000 meters when Izuku got bored and just turned it off, basically. And Izawa was like, whoa. And he's like, okay, try to beat that. And so, they do all the tests. Izuku doesn't really... I mean, he gets pretty high. He doesn't get, like, number 1 or number 2. Neither does Todoroki, because they're quirks. I mean, they're really good quirkless. Like, they're pretty good quirkless. If quirkless was even a thing. If being quirkless was a challenge, but their quirks aren't really useful for many of the other tasks. So, it's sad, but, like, yeah. They don't really get very high. Neither of them. But, I mean... they got pretty good. But Aizawa definitely respect that they have really powerful quirks and that they shouldn't really be messed with. This was kind of a bad test for them as a person. So then he decides to do another test after they're done with their test of purely quirks next week. I mean, tomorrow. And so he tells Aizawa, he told himself, he told All Might to do the whole, quirk thing, and so, oh my god, All Might was like, sure, I'll do that, and he was like, well, why me? And he's like, well, you are their, I forgot what he is to them, new, whatever he was supposed to be, that has to do with heroes. And so he's like, yeah, that's fair. And so, I'm sorry to so many ums and so's, and yeah. None of this is scripted, it's just off the top of my head. My brain kind of just rambles a lot, and so this is me just trying to focus and do it well enough. I'm probably going to finish this soon. I don't really want to make this really long, so then people click off. But if you're somehow still listening to this, again, I applaud you for making it this far and dealing with me. So Aizawa's like, Almond's like, okay, and then so they cut to the next day, and then, you hear the coming in like a hero, running in like a hero, and then just like the whole like, and everyone's like, so retro. Sorry, I watched season 1 a lot. And Yuzuku's not really phased, especially because he knows All Might's secret. especially because he knows all my secret. Because he also sees him, like, deflated. Because I thought that would be pretty fun. He sees him, deflate. Yeah. And so he, goes and he's like, "You cannot be a hero without hero costumes." And then he presses the button, and then all the hero costume comes out. Now, unlike in canon, Izuku's and Todoroki's costumes are much different. First of all, Izuku's color scheme is not. Actually, his suit is a suit. He looks like this. This is his costume. I mean, I can flip through it. I mean, maybe even like that. Somehow. I don't know. Uh-oh. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. Ooh. Never mind. Scratch that. This is his suit. I just look at this immediately and I was like, yes. Senor Luke. Great job. And so he walks out with this, and everyone's like, "Whoa, cool suit, guy!" And he's like, "Yeah, I didn't get it from UA. I got it from personal. Uh-oh. Okay, so I tried to find something similar to this for Todoroki. So I couldn't. So because they're matching heroes, imagine this. But instead of it being all red, it was half red, half white. And it was Todoroki in it. Okay? Okay. Just suspend your disbelief real quick. Just imagine that. And yeah, that's what he looks like. And so he's like, everyone's like, "Whoa!" And then they walk up to them and they're like, "Do you guys know each other? Because you guys have the same exact suits." Oh my god. And so they're like, "Well, yeah, obviously." And they're like, "Why obviously?" And they're like, "Well, we're both pro hero sons." And they're like, "Oh, really? What pro heroes?" And then Izuku's just like, pretty fast, is just like, "Oh, mine's the pro hero Ryu." And then Todoroki doesn't really want to say it because he hates being compared to his father or being shown as his worth being only the fact that he's Endeavor's son. And so Izuku's just like, "If you don't want to say it, you don't have to." And Todoroki's like, "No, it's fine." And he's like, "I'm Endeavor's son." And they're like, "Oh my god, you're Endeavor's son?" And then Izuku's like, "Don't." He just full on hard stops them. He's like, "Don't." Now, they all back away because they're kind of low-key scared. And so it gets picked into the groups. The heroes, the only one that really matters is where Deku and Todoroki is. Izuku and Todoroki are. And so Todoroki and Izuku are actually gonna be the heroes again. Or actually, they're gonna be the villains. I really want to see Deku as a villain. Not as a villain, but as in this thing. And the heroes are gonna be, let's do the original four. It's gonna be, except for minus Ida Tenya. Hi, I'm Ida Tenya. It's gonna be Bakugo and Uraraka as heroes. Uraraka versus Deku, Izuku, and Todoroki. Or Shoto. And so, how many times have I said Todoroki as Izuku? Probably a lot. I'm so sorry. Just imagine if sometime I said Todoroki or Tai Todoroki or Todoroki in Izuku's voice. Imagine him saying Shoto, because I am so sorry my brain won't work correctly. And so he's just like, they go in, they hide the bomb, And then what they do is they do their favorite move, personally, which is their ice wall as a distraction, and then the dragon. Um, they call it like the dragon or some shit. Um, and then um, they don't like show their defenses. Like they don't split them up like in like kind of like canon where like Bakugo comes down and they split them up. Actually, maybe Todoroki puts up the ice wall, gives Deku the fire, and then goes down and tries to stop Uraraka. Just Uraraka, not Bakugo. Because I feel like they knew the fact that Bakugo would have been a worthy opponent for their special move. Um, sorry, I just quickly died right there. And so, my God. And so, yeah, he goes to attack Uraraka, and he like there's like a sharp, like it gets like a sharp, what are they called? Like ice things. You know what I'm talking about? Like they look like they just came off a roof. They fell off a roof. You know what I'm talking about? Hopefully. Um, and he like goes in, like he's not planning on like actually stabbing her, but he's just kind of like trying to get her out of the way. I mean, like trying to get her like out of Bakugo's grasp. I mean, like they're pretty close knit. This is not a Baku Uraka or Uraka Baku. I do not know their ship name, and I do not ship them at all. So don't worry about that. Um, but still, Bakugo's like pretty close knit because he's not really a bully, though he is very egotistical and self centered. But he thinks that he'll look better if he does this. So yeah. Um, and so he like hides her almost, and then Todoroki comes down, does a sneak attack, cause very sneaky, um, and like attacks her, and then like separates Bakugo from her, and then Bakugo's like, I'm not gonna go back for that pinky cheeks, and so he goes up and attacks, tries to find Izuku, who again he does not know. There's no rivalry between them because he doesn't even know that he exists until UA. Um, can you see how much just him being in a family of a pro hero can really change Deku as a person and change the people around him? I mean, Bakugo is not as much of a bully, but he's more self-centered. Todoroki warmed up to someone and uses his fire side more. He's also less cold. Deku is less scared, more confident, more powerful. He also has a quirk, so that's one also plus. Hi. Uh-oh. There we go. Give me a second. Hi. So I'm back finally. I have no idea how long that took because it's just been quick, snappy 2 seconds for you. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. So, just trying to remember where I was. Oh, right. So, Bakugo is going upstairs. He finally found Izuku's, like, area. He thinks all they did was just freeze it. Because that's all he can see. Okay, sorry about that again. I'm really sorry. It's like, I don't really have a main area where, like, everything's, like, I have a very chaotic brother. So, sorry for so many pauses. Anyways, so Bakugo blows up the ice wall to see, a big dragon. And so he's like, in his head, he's like, oh, shizness, I'm screwed. And so he tries to run away. It doesn't work. Because, I mean, it's a dragon. You're not gonna, no matter how ballsy you are, you're not gonna try to take a fire dragon. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. So he tries to run away, fails epically, and gets attacked by a big old fire dragon. And then it wait, what happens? How do villains win? I forgot. I think it's if they tie up both heroes. And so Bakugo gets hit to the floor. He gets knocked out. Because he tries to run away and he hits himself. He runs into a wall and knocked out. So Yuzuka didn't really do much except for threaten him and scare him. Bakugo's a pussa in this world apparently. Not really though. Anyone would run away from a fire dragon. Except for maybe Bakugo. I mean, he's really ballsy and canon. But this ain't canon. So sorry, I'm kind of just doing what I really wanted whenever I watched What Ifs for my YouTubers to do, mostly Anime Outlet and Anime Camp. Oh, I just gave away the 2 people I'm inspired from. Yeah, go watch them. They're much better. If you watch this, I mean, this is the first one somehow, and you don't already know about, or even if you don't know about them, they're really good What If people, especially for Deku and his other alternate timelines. One of my favorites from Anime Outlet is oh, that's a really loud sound. What if Deku had a freaking... What if Deku... I think this was from her. Actually, no. I don't really have a favorite from her. I mean, him. Oh my god, it's been him. I forget, because it's kind of a loud voice. It's kind of a high-pitched voice. So, it's a guy, though. I've learned this from watching his videos a lot. Anyways, and so he gets knocked out. They win. And that's actually where I'm going to leave this video. Because it's already getting really long, and I don't really want it to be that long. So, now is the time where I'm actually going to do all of my things I was going to do originally, that I kept on putting off. So, for starters, this is a completely new channel. I'm probably going to change the name, change the, icon. I'm not going to say it, because those are the cops. Those aren't for me, though. Okay, give me a second. And we're back. Do you hear anything but creaking sounds and me? No. Great. So, this is where I'm going to leave it. So, quick things. This, again, I'm not going to tell you the icon or the name because if I already changed it and you're just looking back at my old videos, I don't want you to cringe even harder than you already do when you hear my disgusting, this repulsive voice. Sorry, that was kind of mean of myself. I'm probably gonna delete this video if I ever get any sort of popular, because I'm probably just gonna listen to it and cringe, or I would probably have already edited my videos. By the way, I have tons of ideas. I'm not gonna name them, but I'll name the fact that I want to do What Ifs, and what was the other one that I watched a lot of? I watched 3 on this separate channel. Yes. 3. Text videos. Yes, those texts. I'm a very weird person, if you haven't already guessed. Anyways, so if this doesn't turn out as the one I wanted, that's really sad. But I mean, that's fine. I might throw this out there. I'm gonna throw it out there. I was also gonna do Gacha Life, reactions, because that's where I weirdly got into second, actually. The first one I got into was text videos, and then I got into the Gacha Life, and then I got into What Ifs, but I think the What Ifs were really what I wanted, because I'm always just, pausing videos on YouTube. I watch it, and then midway through I pause it, and then I just think of what my alternative version of that would be. Also, I have tons of other videos that I'm going to be making about this. I'm not going to really run out. So, if anyone's watching this and you want to give me motivation, hit the subscribe button. Because, or just even like it, because if you like it, that's just showing me that I've made progress. And once I'm done throwing out all my videos and finishing them, that, holy crap, this has gone into an hour, just shows me that I'm on a track. Also, I just now realized the fact that this is all on vertical, and that everyone hates vertical, and I'm an idiot because this is all on vertical. I'm so sorry. This is my first ever video. So yeah, this is gonna be on vertical for my first video. My next video won't have this. It'll be normal. I don't know why I didn't use just like the thing that I have to make a thumbnail. I don't know. So my brain will work. I'm really trying to think right now. Sorry, my brain just went fart. I'm gonna come back when I have an idea. Oh yeah, right. Big shout out to Anime Outlet and Anime Cam. They're just really good versions of this. In fact, some of my ideas are from them actually, but they're just like alternative. Because I already told you, I actually kind of already did this before, where I would just space out and just think of an alternative version of whatever video I'm watching. And then I press play, and it's not what I wanted. Because, I mean, it's not going to be what I wanted. It'll never be what I wanted. But, you know, it's fine. So, I don't know what my schedule is going to be. I mean, I already, like, wanted to do this for a really long time. I think I wanted to do this back in October? My first video. But then I put it off and put it off and put it off. I'm a big procrastinator. Like, big time procrastinator. And so this was kind of just easy for me to procrastinate because it's not really, there's no like set in time to do a YouTube video that no one's gonna watch. So this is basically just for me to just throw this out there, and you know, if people start watching it, that's pretty cool. But if people don't, it's fine as well. I mean, if you somehow come across this video by just, you know, going deep into this world, I mean, hi. And I'm surprised you made it this far. I don't think anyone's gonna make this far. I'm pretty sure they're just gonna listen to 7 seconds, hear my disgusting voice, and be like, nope. That's probably why I'm also gonna make these shorter. This first one, I really just wanted to squeeze out, but I'm probably gonna make them around 18, maybe 20 minutes, depending. And if someone actually is like, oh no, I really like this format of an hour per video, I also like how into detail you go. I'm not really going into detail though. I kind of just really broad, but then I just like do a lot of ums and so, and I go off the rails a lot, really easily. So I'll try to catch myself more of doing that. I catch myself before I start going off the rails. So then it's shorter. Maybe I'll even edit this disgustingness of my voice. It'll be really hard though, because I don't really know how to edit. And I don't really have like a editing thing. I have my phone, a shitty laptop that I got because it was just for school and it really wasn't like needed for it. Cause you know, coronavirus. I got an Xbox, which you can't really edit stuff with. And that's it. I mean, I obviously don't have a station to like sit down here and like, oh, I have a microphone. I'm just using like my shitty headset that I got from my freaking grandpa that I lost one. Why did I say grandpa so dumb? I should have probably done this in like a voice. Like I should have done it in my British voice. That's not a British voice. That's a British voice. So then you didn't have to hear my knowingness. Maybe. I don't even know now. This is not even a British voice anymore. or something. But instead I did my real voice because, I mean, why not? And so, yeah, I mean, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, that'd be great. That's great. I mean, you don't have to, give the like. You could, if you watched it this long, I would actually appreciate it if you watched this long. Comment granola. I know it kind of sounds like, oh, if you get this long, if you get to the end of the video, comment. No, I'm trying to see how many people actually watch this. I'm not gonna do that for every video. I just want to see how long. If a single person watched this, I'd be surprised. But if they watch it to the end and they type in granola, I'd be really surprised. And I'd probably like shower you in compliments and be like, "You're the best. You're amazing." Because I don't really get many things here. I mean, my most liked video in my entire life, and I've had multiple channels where I just goof off, was like 7 likes, and they were all for my sister. So, I mean, if you did that, that honestly warmed my heart. But if you didn't, that's fine as well. I mean, I don't really care. If you're somehow watching this, just know this was me. And I hope my sister doesn't watch this. Because, God, I'd be sad. Oh my God, I'd be so mad if my sister watched this. If you're watching this, hi. Hi. If you're not, I'm so happy, honestly. But anyways, that's it. And I'm leaving now. What a long outro. I don't have an exit sound or an exit, like, I have like, see you guys later, ka-chow, kind of thing. Or any like outro music or anything. But I guess I'll just say, hope your life continues to be wonderful, I guess.